Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Welcome to all the guests. Shalom Aleichem, the guests over here in the guest table. What's your name? Stamford Hill, London. I'd rather have a picture of Stamford Hill, London here. The learning last night. Here, let's show it real quickly. Why not? Here's the picture of last night. That's Eli. He has the MDY Eli. What does it say as the thing? Eli MDY something MDY Eli, and that's Berkowitz, Shulam Belkiewicz. Okay, so you're from now. Shulam, what's your name? Brothers, on different sides of the world. You're jealous, I know. You have like 2 acres of land, and you sit there, and he Nebuch and stuff. And those are the Kinderlach. Shalom Aleichem, all the way from Monsey. Very nice. Oh, what's your name? Shalom Aleichem from? Right here, Mishkafayim. Very nice. And what's your name is Grossman, you said? What's the first name? Shalom Aleichem. Where? America.
Far
Rockaway. All right. Come to the line. Come. Shalom Aleichem. All right. Rabbi Isai, the OGBA, which is the largest, I think, construction show in America, is giving us a booth, as it did in years past. Last year, I think we brought over 30 people to the shir through the booth. And we're looking for volunteers. So if you want to volunteer there and bring people to Torah, you go, I forgot what it is, info@MDY, something like that. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Shimon? Shemanowitz. From Ali Zayis. Shalom Aleichem. Boys, if you remember, the Chevra from Ali Zayis, they put together, what's the Lashon?
Publish?
Didn't publish. You did the translation. Translated. Hoirius. This is their job. Who's the balabos over there? You? Shalom Aleichem balabos. I know, we met on Zoom like a few times. I'm just very bad with names, so forgive me. Now, I do this to everybody. People that are here in the shir for months, I'm like, eh. So, Be'ezer Hashem, for years. Be'ezer Hashem, yeah? Who's in the back row? Oh, Shalom Aleichem in the back row. What's your name? Rabbi Leader, sit down for a second, thank you. What? Yidi Roth. Shalom Aleichem. You do what? You do English? Hebrew? Lashon Kodesh. Shalom Aleichem. Huh? Got it. Okay. So Be'ezer Hashem, as you know, we're coming out with Menachos. It's going to have the Oiz V'Hadar Nekudis on this side, but a wonderful translation on this side with Rabbi Didier from the Our Koil, who goes through it and basically like the final edit, like, so it has our stempel on it. Every daf has a QR code. This is supposed to be easy to read, no notes, just a very nice, simple translation. Anybody could learn Gemara, MDY style. Menach is going to be 2 volumes, right? 2 volumes. So far, Baruch Hashem, this is what we, in terms of dafim, 1/3 are sold. I want to show you, since the last time I spoke about it, these are the new ones. So this is very nice. Daf Yud Beis, Shaya Yuroslavitz. Daf Yud Ches, Jacob Gindi. Daf Yud Tes, Anonymous. Daf Chav Gimel, Aaron Schwartz. Daf Chav Hey, Elio Naiman. Daf Lamed Hey, Y.M. Shapiro. Daf Mem Dalet, Akiva Kraus. Rabbi say this is Nitzchias. This is going to help bring people to Torah. Through this, we're going to give out the Gemara. Guy gets a free Gemara. He comes, he tries out the shir, and it changes lives. And we see it every day. Daf Mem Ches, David and Tzipora Baratz. Daf Nun Hey, Bruce and Ilana Kessler. Daf Nun Vav, Kobe and Perry Moses. Daf Samach Aleph, Stefansky Eliyahu, Shmuel and Ahuva Schuster. Daf Peiches, Peretz Chaim Levin. Oh, another one like that. Peretz Chaim, Peiches. And Herzka Engel, Daf Tzadik Tes. And Daf Kuf, Mordechai Sapaznik. Yeshur Koyach. What else do we have here? Remember, we had above me, if you look, there's a lot of Gemaras there. So on my birthday, they replaced those Gemaras with a picture. there was a bunch of balls there and opened up and it fell on me. So it's just showing how he practiced this at home. Here we go. That's just a blow up of me, yeah. I got cut out. It takes koiches. Ariel, photo from the Heimische Car Service. Tully Klagsburn, listen to this. Dear Belly, I've been wanting. He is the head of the Kiryas Yoel satellite location. Satmar Chassid. I wanted to write to you for a long time. Thank you so much for changing my wife and changing my wife's and my life. Don't ask Cassius. It's maybe a translation from Yiddish. You have made learning so geschmack, and we decided to give back to MDY by hosting a shir Kiryas Yoel Woodbury satellite location. We Be'ezras Hashem had a beautiful baby boy. The bris was on Friday, and we named him Eli. A name my wife and I love because of the wonderful tzaddikim we know who share it. We sponsored today's shir. I hope he wasn't calling it Chayai. I mean, but Eli, because not Elio, Eli. That's what I'm saying. We sponsored today's shir as chus for shlish lemila, that he should have a complete and speedy healing. By the way, we met in the 5 times a few weeks ago, and I promised you I would hang a picture of you in my house next to the Nickelsburger Rebbe and President Trump. I wanted to let you know that it's in the works. I also want to give a shout out to my Rebbe, the Nickelsburger Rebbe, for encouraging me to learn the daf with you. My friends made this AI picture, see the attachment. Thank you again for everything with appreciation. Tuli Klagsman. So this is the one on the left is AI, and this is the location. The Kiryas Yoel location. I got it. Where's the picture of just him? Okay, there's a better picture of just me and him. Next time. One last thing. Avram Malin says that he's not the Enikol of Reb Leib Malin because he never had children with Reb Leib. They looked for a connection in the family. They couldn't really find the connection. Okay, the Masechet sponsored by David Salomon, dedicated memory of Avi Moir, Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zichron Levracha. Masechet sponsored the Nishmas Doiv Shlomi Yehuda Ben Shmuel Chaim Asheshoka Velom Kochim Kol Chayav. Noam, when's the surgery? Right now. So what's the name? Before Shleiman's son was on one of those scooters, hit a pothole, and broke his shoulder, and the bone went down, and they got to find it and put it back in. It's a whole. What's his name? Chaim, he's a married guy with a kid. Chaim Yisrael. Ben Rivka Gittel. Refuah Shleima, the surgery should go well. Anonymous. The Zeichen Nishmas Nochem Tzvi Ben David. What are you doing here? Your mama's devoted to daf. First you do the daf. Sponsored by Subscriber Capital in honor of our friends Meir Kovacs, Takin, Shavshi Shlavrak, for the devotion to their study and the shir. Joe Gedalis Nishmas, my father, Jack Gedalis, Anonymous, Haslach, Brooklyn's Vigashmi, Coil sponsors for the month, Anonymous from London, Parnas B'Sheva. Monthly sponsors Anonymous, please down for Refuah Shlema for the world's was dad, Aaron Ben Chai Sara, Anonymous Baruch Abelidai, Baruch Sfinizim, Shoshana Leah, Yehuda B'Yom Ben Chava, Anonymous from London, Hatzlacha B'Parnasa. Yidi Hollander, in honor of my father-in-law, devoted to the daf each day as he marries off a child. Yosef Ezra, in memory of Yeshua Ben Shimon Dov, and a Parnasa Toiva. Daily sponsors, Tully and Razi Klagsburn, for the special occasion of the Shlishi Lumila of my dear son, Elio Ben Razel, and as a schus for my wife, Razel Bas Brocha Yenta Malka. What a name, wow. Razel Bas Brocha Yenta Malka. Jamie Azulai, in honor of Sruli Portowitz. Krima, okay, how do you pronounce? Krima and Bubbies need MDY. Versteh nicht. Today, slow. MDY Art. Refuah Shlema for Yonatan Eitan Ben B'Shav Bracha, who was here last night. Refuah Shlema, Mordechai Ben Esther, Refuah Hayeled, Daniel Zev Ben Ayeled Esther. Oh, here's the better picture of me in Klagsburn. Givaldik. Okay, our boys that were holding the Pegimel and Bays, like 18 lines from the bottom. The good news is that Peidalet Amud Beis is super short. So we're going to hope to finish today's daf. So you don't have to look back in the Mishnah. I cheated for you. You know what? Let me do it this way. This is going to show you why in our shir people come away with real pshat, crystal clear pshat. This makes it super easy, be'emes, real easy. We're discussing, there's a large list of items that are puzzle, that if you put on the Mizbeach, you don't have to take them off the Mizbeach. If they were put on the Mizbeach by mistake, you don't take them off. put on the Mizbeach, you weren't supposed to put on the Mizbeach, you don't take it off. There's another list of items that if you put on the Mizbeach, you must remove them. So we have a 5-way machlokes really. What the main word is, what to concentrate on. If we do this, it'll be super. The whole sugya is easy all the way to the Mishnah. Rabbi Yeshua says Ishim. The point is fire. Something that goes in a fire doesn't come off the Mizbeach. So wine doesn't go in the fire. So you have to take it off the Mizbeach. Blood, does it go in the fire? Blood? No, so it comes off the Mizbeach. That's it. Rabbi Gamliel says no. The word is Mizbeach. Anything goes on a Mizbeach. Does wine go on a Mizbeach? Yes. Does blood go on a Mizbeach? Yes. So if they go, those things and all other items that go on the Mizbeach don't come off. Rabbi Shimon says, the Nekuda is he brings the word Oila, I threw in Me'atzmai. It must come by itself as its own carbon. So if wine is attached to another carbon, you bring Oila together with wine, so that wine comes off the Mizbeach. Because it's not Me'atzmai. It's not an individual, its own chashavik carbon. So the Nekuda here is Me'atzmai. Rabbi Yosef Glili, so these three, the first three, Rabbi Shua, Rabbi Shimon, we had in the Mishnah. Now we're going to discuss Rabbi Shimon now, and then we're going to move very, very quickly into Rabbi Yosef Glili, into Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Yosef Glili, Rabbi Kiva says something very similar. Rabbi Yosef Glili says the key word is kvasim. It has to be an animal. That will limit what? A mincha, let's say, is not an animal. Wine, not an animal. Rabbi Kiva says the word is oila, very similar to kvasim. There's one afkamina between the two of them. It has to be an animal, but oila. What else is there in oila that kvasim doesn't have? Oila sa'oif. So that's, now, if I ask you a bunch of questions, you probably know the answer to all of them. You know the whole sugya now. Because Rabbi Shua says fire, Rabbi Gamliel says mizbeach, Rabbi Shimon says it has to be its own individual thing, Rabbi Yosef says it has to be an animal, and so does Rabbi Kiva says it has to be an animal oila, like an oila. Says the Gemara now, 18 lines from the bottom. Rav Shimon Oimer, Hazevach kosher. I don't know if there's a single shear in the world that has this klor. I don't boast all the time, but the Alizai's people are here. What?
I was just thinking how clear this is.
This is mamish clear. No, because you could read the sugya and becomes, this one says this one says that, and you don't know where you're holding, what you're doing. But over here, I could ask you in the middle of the sugya what this person holds, and you'll tell me. Now, Tanya Rav Shimon Oimer, Oila. Here, you see the atzmai, ma'atzmai. Has to come by itself. It has to be something that comes on its own. If you're bringing a type of a carbon. Now, there are nesachim, Rabbi said, that come by themselves. A minchas nesachim, or just nesachim. Forget the minchas nesachim, that's a mistake. That's a different mincha. But nesachim that come by themselves, en chanami. You don't take it off the mizbeach. It has to be called abayim biglal atzmon. Yotzun esachim abayim biglal zevach. If the wine comes because of the carbon, and it's not supposed to be there, or even if it's kosher, get it off. So let's see. Oh, somebody put it back in. Baruch Hashem. Back. Here we go. It's kedai to remember the psukim over here. It's not to remember, just to pay attention. Pasuk Lamed Zayin says, "Kol hanigeh b'mizbeach yigdosh." Any type of carbon, mincha, wine that touches the mizbeach, touches it, yigdosh. The mizbeach has a power to make it kadosh. So that would basically mean everything. But the next pasuk Lamed Ches, says kvasim. And two psukim after that, it says, oilas tamid, an oila. So Rabbi Yosef Glili Oimer, Metoich Shenemar, Kol HaNegeh B'Mizbeach Yigdosh. Shembeani, Bein Royu, Bein Shein Royu. Anything, all items. Tamid Loimer kvasim. Kvasim ruyim is like a sheep. Sheep is roy. It's appropriate to put on the mizbeach of kol roy. Rabbi Kiva Oimer, oila. No, the key word is not kvasim. The key word is oila. Ma'oila ruya, just like the oila goes on the mizbeach, I've called ruya. It has to be something that belongs on the mizbeach. My benayu. So what's the difference between kvasim and oila? The bird oila is also an oila. So according to Rabbi Kiva, that he learns from the word oila that is included in the pasuk, and therefore, if the oila sa'oif which is puzzle. In this case, when on the Mizbeach, you don't take it off. Mar Ma'islam Oilo, Rabbi Kiva goes with Oilo. Mar Ma'islam Kvasim. Rabbi Yitzchak goes from the word Kvasim, it has to be a behema and not a bird. But one cannot ignore the other. Rabbi Yitzchak can't ignore the fact that it says Oilo. Rabbi Kiva can't ignore the fact that it says Kvasim. Iksiv Kvasim, V'loiksiv Oilo. If it only say Kvasim, Havamina, Afil Mechayim. I'll think that's we're going to see Mefurish in the Mishnah. A whole part of the Mishnah discusses this. That if you bring a live animal onto the Mizbeach, get him off right away. But he's supposed to be an oila soon. No, get him off. Because Rachmana oila. Oila is a lashon of it's already shechted. It's going up to Hashem. It's not about to. It is. So it's not alive anymore. And Rabbi Kiva that learns the key word oila, haksiv kvasim. But what is he going to do with Rabbi Yosef Aglili's kvasim? That seems like only an animal. Oh, I need to tell you that it's a living thing. It's a chai, a bal chai, not a mincha, not a flower mincha. Because Rachmana kvasim has to be a bal chai. Oh, so Meila, if we go back to here, we have the 3 Tanoim of our Mishnah, and we have the 2 Tanoim that we just discussed, Rabbi Yisrael Glili, Rabbi Kiva. Everything's clear now, yeah? Kvasim and Oila. So what would be a nafkamir between the first 3 and the second 2? Omra Papa, Kmatzim Shikachu Bekli Ike Benayu. There's something called a Minchas Nesachim. A Minchas Nesachim, yeah, is a mincha that comes because he decided to bring a mincha. It consists of flour, oil, and wine. Minchas Nesachim. How much oil, how much wine? Depends if you say it's a Minchas Nesachim of the Sirim, of this. We say it in Rosh Chodesh, yeah? A log, Yisara, and the different measurements of oil. But it comes by itself. So, is it something that goes on the Mizbeach? Yes. Is it something that comes by itself? Yeah. It's by itself. So, therefore, our Tanaim, all the Tanaim in our Mishnah are going to hold it doesn't come off. But Rabbi Yosef Glili, it's not a keves, it's not a Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Yosef Glili don't hold it. So let's see how it works. Take a look. According to Yeshua, it needs to be on the fire. Why? Because it's a mincha, it's flour. Rabbi Glili says Mizbeach, certainly it doesn't come off. It goes in the Mizbeach. According to Rabbi Shimon, it's me'atzma, it's its own individual thing. It doesn't go together. It's not associated to another carbon. So loy tered. But if you hold that it's kvasim, it has to be an animal. It's not an animal. Tered. Oila, it's not an animal. Tered. So according to these 2 mandomers, Rabbi Yisrael and Rabbi Kiva, tered. Says the Gemara, Rish Lakish Amar, and now comes Rish Lakish, and he makes a seder over here in the whole sugya.
This is Rish Lakish.
Yeah. Oh, k'motzim sh'nikachu b'kli ike benayu. Why not? It's a kimitza of a mincha. Yeah, but what kind of mincha? Tam a regular mincha. Okay, so you're saying it's a mincha. I should have put here mincha. Okay, so we have to fix it. Mincha. The idea is the same. It's a mincha. Fine. Rish Lakish Amar, mincha haba. Is this a mincha? Is this k'motzim? Rish Lakish Amar, mincha haba b'fnei atzmo divrei kulam lo tered. So now what's interesting, this lashon, you don't find a lashon like this. Lo tered, we have to do another slide there, because this is minchas nesachim. It's the same thing. There's a mincha and minchas nesachim. Fine. Lo tered, divrei kulam doesn't mean all 5. Divrei kulam in this Gemara in Rish Lakish means the Roiv. Whoever the Roiv is, that's the Kulan. So you have, no, nothing to do with the Mishnah. The Roiv. 3 out of 5 is considered Kulan. Interesting, no? Divrei Kulan. So if you stop over there, it will mean all 5. But it means no, it means the Roiv. Mincha haba b'fnei atzmo divrei kulan lo tered. That's Rabbi Yeshua and Reb Shimon, like we just saw. Same thing. The Rabbi Kiva tered. Mincha haba im hazevach. Now what about a mincha that comes together with a carbon? What's going to change over here, Rabbi Isai? That's my Reb Shimon. So let's see what happens. Oops. If you just want to see what it looks like on Motzei Shabbos, this is what I sent Yoshi on Motzei Shabbos. Kitzer. Okay. And he has to take that and do this. So what happens is he's not happy with me. I said, I don't know, we have to do some research. I said, tered, in Hebrew, tered is spinach. So I went on a rant on spinach that when I was a kid, they used to force us to eat spinach because they claimed that it was very high in iron as a superfood. But then they came out that it was based on a mistake that a scientist said that he did some research that it has a lot of iron, but it turns out that he was supposed to divide it by 10. And he gave a number that's 10 times the amount. So for generations, millions, and Popeye, it all became, maybe Popeye was because of that guy. It became a thing that it's a super, but it's not true. So we had millions, tens, hundreds of millions of kids in America had to suffer because of one shoyt scientist. So he goes on the thing, he says it's just it's not true, it's a made up story, nobody ever made a mistake. But it's not a superfood. I don't think anybody thinks it's a superfood anymore. What?
It is, but olive oil it is a superfood.
It is a superfood. You're stuck in that generation, that's the problem. Oh, they found something else. Yeah, man. They said it has a lot of vitamin K. It's not such a mistake. It wasn't Kedai to force the kids then. Terrible food, terrible. Eating those greens. They discovered that's why that generation, they're much more mechabed the parents and elders because they ate a lot of spinach. And if only this generation we eat some spinach. Givaldik. You see now the Divrei Kulan changes a little bit. Divrei Kulan is those three, Reb Shimon, Reb Yosef, Reb Akiva, Divrei Kulan, because they're the 3 out of the 5. Great. Let's think about it. If wine comes by itself, what's Reb Shimon going to hold? It comes by itself. Huh? Rabbi Yosef, anybody? Lo tered. So let's see what happens. Whoa. But according to Rabbi Yeshua, if wine doesn't go on a fire, so that's going to have to be tered. Okay, so that's klar. Wine that comes with a carbon. No, what's going to change here? Whoa, what just happened there? So only according to Regila Loitariad. Why? Because Regila says Mizbeach. Wine is something that goes on Mizbeach. Wine is not something that goes in the fire. So Reb Shua says it has to go off. Reb Shimon didn't come by itself. It's together with a carbon. According to Reb Akiva, it's not an animal. So according to everybody, Tered. According to Regila Loitariad, why? It's something that goes on a Mizbeach. It says Gemara Pshita. It's very interesting. The Gemara says, why do you need a whole sikum? I need a synopsis here of the whole sugya. What did Rish Lakish add to something I didn't know? I could have figured all this out by myself. Shita says Gemara, mincha haba b'fnei atzmi tzrichalei. What at the end of the day he came to say one thing. A person is permitted to bring to the Beis Hamikdash a minchas nesachim, consists of flour, wine, and oil, if he feels like it. That's all he wanted to tell us. Says Gemara v'nishmin k'derava. So then say it like Rava said. Why do you have to give me a whole sikum of the sugya? And he doesn't even say the main point. You have to figure out from Rish Lakish what he just say. Misnad avad b'chol yom. Says the Gemara, "Nesachim habayim ma'azevach tzrichalei become a karv l'lemachal yom achara me'achra." At the end of the day, you want to tell us that since the halacha is that if you bring a carbon, you could bring the nesachim that go along with the carbon. A bunch of carbonas have wine that go with them. That wine doesn't have to go together with the carbon. You can bring it in a day later, a month later. So if it comes by I would think that it comes by itself. Since it could come at a different day, I think it's considered something by itself. It has its own chashivas. So you can do it at night, the next day. They're considered like the saga that go by itself. In that case, even if Shimon agrees that it's something that doesn't go off the mizbech because it's by itself, that even if Shimon holds it comes off the mizbech. And if you want to see it all together, just to give yourself a headache, This is what it looks like. Okay. Zogt in our Gemara, we're not going to have charts like that. That's it's too complicated. Says the Mishnah. Shkoyach. So now we're going to give you a list of the things, the items that go on the Mizbeach. It's a long list. We have to understand why this list doesn't come off the Mizbeach and the other list goes off the Mizbeach. Halon. You have meat that stayed overnight. V'hayoytzei. We'll show you a video on Amud Beis. What yoytzei is will be more negea. Halon. I'll show you a video right now. What's halon? Halon is something that stayed overnight. Lino, here we go.
שם מצווה תחילת השלמים.
גוואלד, פסול לינה, הבשר פוסול, פסול לינה.
פסול לינה.
הבשר פוסול, קויפר, זה איסור מדאורייסו.
Good night, Bomba. You're right. The meat of the Korban Kodesh becomes disqualified if it was left overnight. But the meat of the Korban Shelamim is still kosher since it's eaten for 2 days and 1 night.
הבנתי. סוף סוף הבנתי. Thanks.
אתה חייב להצטרף ל-MDY. זה לא הדף, זה היומי. He's a Mayaritz, he's a big Amaritz, he doesn't do Daf Yomi. Okay, fine. So that's Lina. Who? I have no idea. He's a what do you call it? A Mishmer Satznius guy. You know, he's a bombach. Fine. He took one of those vans from the Chevra Kedisha. He painted it over with his name. There's a lot of nekudas over there. Halon, v'hayoytzei, meat that went out of the Beis Hamikdash and came back onto the Mizbeach, v'hatomei, meat that's tomei, v'shenishchat chutz l'zmanim v'chutz l'mkoimei. If the meat, as the kohen was performing the shechita, he thought in his mind that he's going to bring it to his son's bris in a week from now, or he's going to eat it in Bet Shemesh outside of Yerushalayim or outside the Beis Hamikdash, so it's possible. Now you put it on the Mizbeach, you don't take it off. The Gemara is going to explain. We're talking about kohanim that are tamei. So a puzzle person was mekabel the dam, a puzzle kohen did the zrikas hadam, which he shouldn't. It passes the carbon, but if you put it on the mizbeach, it doesn't come off. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, shenishchat b'layla, v'nishbach dama, v'yotza dama chutz lakloim, imolza teirid. Comes Rabbi Yehuda and says we have 3 things. The Gemara is going to explain why these 3 things. 3 things. Nishchat b'laylo, shechted at night. If the blood spilled onto the floor, or even if it was accepted in a klisharis and it spilled on the floor, and later on you picked it off the floor. V'yotza dama chutz lakloim. If the blood went outside of the azara, imol satayr. These are things that if it went up, no. What are you looking at? If you pick it up from the floor, I don't know. For some reason, that's what they say.
Put it back in the clay. Yeah, because it tells us in Nida.
Yeah, Taisus in Nida. You see. I know, we had that sugya. Reb Shimon Oimer loitered, that we have to find out why. Reb Shimon Oimer loitered. So according to that shita, it'll be mamish fell right on the floor. It was never miskabel. Loitered. Reb Shimon says loitered. Reb Shimon Oimer calls shepsule b'kodesh mikabloi. What? No, we had a sugya. I don't remember anymore. Chazara. What? What? But this he did in Skabel B'Kli at Nishbach Dama. You're saying there's no Zrika at all? Nishbach Dama. So just say that he didn't do Zrika at all. What's Nishbach Dama? Okay. Rabbi Shimon Oimer Teiret. Rabbi Shimon Oimer lekol shepsuli b'kodesh hakodesh mekabel. Depends where the psul happened. If it's something that happened now in the Beis Hamikdash, then if you put it on the Mizbeach, lo yered. Lo yepsul b'kodesh. A zaydik thing, a zaydik psul, some other psul that had nothing to do with the Beis Hamikdash, in a kodesh mekabel. What are examples? And here's the list. Ve'elu shelo hayu psulim b'kodesh. An animal that an averus performed with it, or it performed on the human being. Somebody set aside an animal for avodah zarah, or somebody worshipped this animal avodah zarah. It was a payment for znos, and somebody did a trade. He traded a sheep for a dog, so you can't take the sheep and use it as a carbon by kilayim. And if you take a goat and a sheep, and you have an offspring that's a mixture, here we have a shtickle video of what it looks like. Here, Rabbi say, take a look. Kilayim, sheep and a goat. It's another type of kilayim. Kid friendly. And he has a very long beard because he's like a sheep, so his hair keeps on growing. So Ashi
approved.
Yeah, Ashi approved. Zog the Gemara, about treifa. Treifa. Found that it has a hole in its heart. Vayoytze doifen. Born with a Syrian, ubali mumen. Bali mumen. Has a mum. Rabbi Kiva machshir b'bali mumen. Rabbi Kiva says that a bal mum is okay, and we discussed this already. What kind of bal mum does Rabbi Kiva mean that's okay? Cataract. Baduk shabai. Another one here, one after another. Boy, say this is our here. This is a continuation of that song.
נטמעתי.
ואתה?
נשארתי כל הלילה. ואותי הוציאו.
מספיק לחלום, חברים. יש לי תוכנית. נברח מפה, נעלה למזבח במקדש, והדין הוא, אם עלו, לא ירדו.
הולכים על זה! קדימה!
היי, רגע, מה איתי? אתה בא אלמום? לך זה לא יעזור. גם אם תעלה, יורידו אותך.
למעלה, ניתנים בפנים שנתנן בחוץ. ניתנים בחוץ שנתנן בפנים. פס אחור חטאת שנשחט משלו לשמן. אם עלו למזבח, לא ירדו.
Okay. Rabbi Kiva machshir b'bali mumen. Chanina is Gana Kohanim. Chanina is Gana Kohanim oimer. You say, what's this Gana Kohanim? Gana Kohen. What's HaKohanim? There's a lot of Kohanim in the time of the Bayis Sheni that the Kohanim G'dolim that weren't appropriate Kohanim G'dolim, and they didn't know the halacha, so they had a guy there, like a Zgan that helped them out. Similar like if Rosh Hashiva is asked to do Siddur Kiddushin and he has no clue, so he brings like a little guy that whispers in the mouthpiece. Yeah. Shem Shem Malu. You've been there, you've seen it? My father says wouldn't allow the balimum on the mizbeach. Just like the halacha is, if you have a piece of meat that wasn't supposed to go on the mizbeach, you don't take it off. If it popped off the mizbeach, don't put it back on, because it's not the pshat that the mizbeach makes it kadosh. The mizbeach doesn't fix it. If halacha, if it's on, you don't take it off. It's lachmi shel mizbeach. You already grabbed it, so no, leave it. But once it comes off again, you don't put it back. You have a live animal, get it off. That's what we discussed before. And if you have an oila that went on top of the mizbeach, it must come off. If it's alive. The guy didn't know what he was doing and he did a shchita on top of the mizbeach. Show you tomorrow. Rabbi Weisfish sent me. He said it's very easy to do havshad. It's basically you skin it, you pull the skin right off, and you chop it up into the pieces that you need to chop it up, and then you put it onto the fire. Says the Gemara Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Zois hi ha'oila. We have three words here. Zois hi ha'oila. Harei l'shleisha miyutim. These are three limitations. Prat l'shenishchoto balaylo, v'shenishbach doma. If it was shechted at night and the blood spilled, v'shiyoto doma chutz l'kloim. If the blood went outside of the azar, Shem also says mamish. It's like last night we had Rabbi Eliakim Aronoff. He sat right over there, Noam seat. Guy that took a test now on 2200 daf. Kasich takes tests on all of Shas, scores in the high 90s. He's sitting there listening to the shir because he brought his father. Intimidation, you know what I'm saying? Then we have these guys here. Shkoyach. Reb Shimon Oimer, Oyla, Ainli Elo Oyla Kshero, Benayan the rabbis, Shenishchata Balayla. Shimon learns it differently. From the word Oyla I learn, Oyla Kshero. Benayan the rabbis, Shenishchata Balayla, Shenishchata Dama, B'Shiyasa Dama Chutz LaKloim, V'halon, and he keeps on going, the list goes. V'halon, it was left overnight, Ayoytz, and he went out of the B'Samid, V'at Tommy, his Tommy, V'Shenishcha, Chutz Zman, Chutz Zman Koyim, he had a Machshavas Pigul in his head. V'Shekivlu Psulim, V'Zarko was Damai. An apostle did a zrika. Apostle was makabel the dam. Here, this we didn't have in a while. The chatos goes above the red line. The oila goes below the red line. And he reversed it. There's blood that goes on the mizbech hachitzim. Most bloods go on the outer. Some go inside. He reversed it. In the first mission of Zevachim, the only two korbanos that you have to, that Lishma is ma'akiv and it passes the carbon, Pesach and Chatas. Minayin, how do I know that all these, this entire list, if you put it on the Mizbeach, lo yerdu. Over here, the word oila is not so much carbon oila, but it's a lotion of that it went on. Avremi, is there anybody on Zoom like a satellite location? Or we don't have now anymore? Last night we had Geshmak, we had Stafford Hill live. What else do we have? I don't even remember. Manchester. And Antwerp, that's right. Very good. Ariel Simon from the plane, for real? That's Ariel Simon? You're kidding me. And he's in flight right now? Wow. Shh, don't say anything because then the stewardess will come. I had once. I wanted to be shticky, so I said I'm gonna transmit an entire shir from the plane. So I'm sitting there, and I didn't, when you have your headphones on. Good morning. A stewardess comes flying over to me. Sir, it's the middle of the night here. So I got like flight attendant. I got like 30 seconds worth of the shir in, but that was it. I had a. It was your fault. He taught me how to do it. Oh, I don't know, but it's a massive. Where?
Mountaindale.
Where's Mountaindale? It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Stay there, otherwise zero. If you leave, it's zero. Shalom Aleichem, Mountaindale. How you doing? Wow. What time is it in New York? I don't know. It's 1 o'clock? 12. 12. It's almost 1 o'clock. Givaldi. Shkoyach for holding down the fort at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What's the Yordu of Dam? Yordu Dam. How do you
I don't know. Wipe it off, yeah. Or you put it in a cup, a whole cup. I don't know. It's a good shayla. Torah Sarila. Riba Torah Achas the Kol Ha'olen. There's a guy, this is one of our guys, he learns Mesechus Bapei, he knows a lot of Mesechus, he has Simonim and all Shas. It's a whole Zach. Okay. Riba Torah Achas the Kol Ha'olen Shem Olu Lo Yerdu. Kol Ha'olen, the word Ha'olah, something that goes up, doesn't come down. Shem Olu Lo Yerdu. Oh, but what about the other list? We have a whole other list of things that do come off. Yochshani Marba Hariveya Vahanirba. V'shiality, v'hamuktzah, v'hanevad, v'esnan, u'mechir, v'klayim, v'utreifa, v'yitzadoifen. All these things, the avodah zara, and the esnan, and the mechir, klayim, treifa, v'yitzadoifen. Tamaloyma, zois. It's a limitation. Zois, no. Only some of them don't come off, but this whole list comes off. Umari isa, but why? Why do you decide this list yes and this list not? The rabbis say, lo, it's say, wow, what are we going to do here? We got to slow down a little bit. The difference is that the list that doesn't come off the Mizbeach is because their psul, they became pasul inside in the Beis HaMikdash. A whole list of those who, okay, yeah, let me stop in the middle of the word. And something that the psul has nothing to do with the Beis Hamikdash. The psul already paused from before, like or riveh, v'nirva, avodah zarah, etc.
What sponsors?
Today, bedaf kenat. It gives people, you know what? It gives people I know. They think about it. They're like, I'm going to be the first one. When is it? Oh, Baruch Hashem, it's here. They just turn the page. Like, it gives them chiyus, and you steal that chiyus from people. You don't have what you're doing to people. Destroying human beings.
So
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem, you're talking now. You have what to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you just told my that's one thing. Rabbi Isai, the next person that screams out sponsors is going to have to pay $1,000. You hear, Rabbi Schwartz? $1,000 next time you say sponsors. $1,000. You too. $1,000. No. Weiter. Wir review the Meisil Ma'acha. Bunch of mature people. Turning to the daf. Adar Global. He's there. He's enjoying himself on the flight. It didn't look like business, Bichlal. He was sitting. It did? That was business? Oh. Oh, here he is. Is it a business? Prove it. What is it? Rebariye. It's not business? Turkey Financial Services has a free real estate purchase in Israel. Stephen Schwartz, Lili Nishmois, my parents, Millie and Jay Schwartz, former owners of RNS Deli in Lakewood, New Jersey. Who would believe 10, 15 years ago that you're giving a shear here and a guy flying at 35,000 feet in the air and a guy in Glendale, what is it called over there, New York? Mountaindale is watching live. He could communicate. When I got married, I bought a disc, a CD, that you could put it in and I could speak to my shver on the computer, but it didn't work. It was like choppy. You know what I'm talking about? It was the net2 whatever, net to phone or something, whatever it's called. Anyways, weiter. Review the Ma'aseh Mahacha. So now Rabbi Yehuda says as far like this. It's very, very simple. What Rabbi Yehuda is going to do is anything that has like a shasa kosher sort of, anything that we see some sort of heter in this thing, anything that has a heter in another application, in another scenario, if it goes on the mizbeach, it doesn't come off. L'mashal. Pigul. Where does Pigul have a heter? So that you're going to have to wait. What about Lina? Lina has a heter. You see, sometimes you're allowed to eat meat after 2 days. The shlama meat. It has a little bit of a heter somewhere else, so if it goes onto the mizbeach, it doesn't come off. So let's see how he does this. Oh, so the Gemara is going to touch that nekuda a little bit. We'll see, because that is not lina really. That's a heter gomer to eat that meat after. But the Gemara says, nevertheless, it resembles a little bit. Whereas revev and nirva have zero heter anywhere. Avodah zarah never has a heter in any situation whatsoever. If I had to pick this or this has a shtickle resemblance somewhere. That's what the Gemara answers at the end. But let's see. Why, if the blood is left over overnight? What does kosher mean in this case? Kosher means that if it goes onto the mizbeach, it doesn't come off. Sharei lon kosher beimurim. We see that by beimurim, if you have the parts of the carbon that have to go onto the mizbeach, if they stayed overnight, you're allowed to, if the person put it on by mistake, it stays on. And how do I know? How do I even know that? Lon beimurim kosher. How do I know? Sharei lon kosher bebasar. We see, like in Kachim Kalim, you get to eat it after 2 days. So which Kachim Kalim you can't eat after a day and a night? Kachim Kalim you can't eat. Toida. Who said Toida? Very good. What else? There's one other. If you say Karbanas, you should know. Meiser you could. Anybody? No? Pesach, what else? Nazir. So, Shari lon kosher b'basar. Yoitze, Sha'yoitze kosher b'bama. Bama, the whole bama is outside of the Beis Hamikdash. Anything that comes off that bama is already yoitze. Here, take a look at this for a second. We're back to Mambach. Here, if I can find them. Oh, this is geschmack. Just look at the depiction of the bama. It's beautiful. Rabbi changed from Chevra Kedisha to something Kedisha.
Käufer! Gewalt! Schutei Chotz!
Chutz, that's how AI understands it. Chutz.
שחוטי צ'וץ! אסור להקריב פה קורבנויס! זו כפירה! ג'וואלד! בוא תירה.
Hayotze kosher babama. In the period when the bamot were permitted, it was allowed to offer sacrifices outside the Beis Hamikdash. In those days, the concept of pasul yotze did not apply at all.
לא! 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 זה בטח בינה מלאכותית, אני לא מאמין!
This is AI. Good morning, Bombach. We're all AI. We're all artificial intelligence. But the halacha says yotze kasher, okay? Ay. The Lamaisa, they take your voice and they do whatever they want with it. So why don't we do it in Spanish? No, for real. You could give shirin, and it looks the mouth looks good. Everything looks perfect today. Yiddish. Stefansky using Yiddish. You don't, but nobody tell them that it's AI. We go like this for a few years. At the end, they don't act like this every day. This is. Stop making a chil MDY. David, calm down. Oh, he's asleep. Yoitze shayoitze kosher bebama. Tomei hoyel v'huda la'avodas tzibur. We see that sometimes tomei is okay. Tuma hutra b'tzibur, if you have roiv klai Yisrael, the kohanim, most of the kohanim are tomei, they can perform the avodah, most klai Yisrael by Karm Pezah we saw it. Chutz zmanai. Oh, this is interesting. Where do we see that pigul is okay? Hoylu meratzil piguloi. The halacha is, in order for pigul is very sensitive. In order for pigul to work, we said you can't have another machshava, you can't have a machshavas chutz l'makim, let's say. Pigul has to be, so pigul, all the avodas have to be kosher. The avodah has to be kosher in order for pigul to work. But how could the avodah be kosher if you thought that it's pigul? It's pigul. You ruined it with your machshavas of pigul. So you see that the let's say you're doing shchita and you're thinking that you're going to eat this carbon in a year from now, in a week from now, by your kid's bris. So you had a bad machshava, it should have ruined the shchita. But if it ruined the shchita, then it's not pigul, because you have to have a good shchita for the pigul to work. So you see that pigul, actually sometimes it does work, it's kosher. With the pigul, it's still kosher. So you have a little bit of a situation of kashrus and pigul. Chutz l'makom, that's where it doesn't work, because chutz l'makom doesn't need the kashrus. Hoyel v'itkash l'chutz zman. Okay, you compare chutz l'makom and chutz zman. Shekibu psulim zarku as dama. Where do we see that if somebody who's pasul that accepts, that does kabbalah sadam or zrikas sadam, it's okay. B'hanach psulim, because we're talking about psulim the chazal avodas tzibur. These are kohanim that today they're tamei, but tomorrow they're not. So they have a situation of kashrus. Now the Gemara just goes back to what Noam pointed out when the Gemara makes a comparison between a murim that are pasul to shlamim or kachim kam to go on to mizbech for more than a day and a night, 2 days and a night. What do you bring me a raya from something that the Torah says you can eat it for 2 days? Says the Gemara, Tana, wait a minute, before you get up, we're Tana azois Torah sa'oila. We're almost finished at 8 o'clock, 8:00. Oh no. Zois Torah sa'oila, riba samachlei. We have a pasuk that Zois Torah sa'oila. And we don't know what list goes in the don't take it off the mizbeach and what list take it off the mizbeach. So if you have some sort of far out connection, that's enough to put it in the list of it doesn't come off the mizbeach. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.